welcome back to the channel today, guys, for our second video of the day. Or first, depending on where you're at, because I'm uploading this kind of late. And I'm pretty freaking tired, but we ain't here to talk about that, because we're here to talk about Mob Psycho 100, Season 3, Episode 2 today. And we had a fun one today. We had a pretty fun episode today, honestly, I gotta admit. As we see Mob preparing for the cultural festival, and we get the appearance of the Yokai hunters. And it was just a fun episode altogether, you know? It's an episode where we get a little bit of action, but we get some down-to-earth time with Mob, and that's what I really love about this series. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it and talk about Mob Psycho 100, Season 3, Episode 2 today. Now, as I stated today, the episode begins with Mob and a bunch of other kids being selected to do the costumes for the haunted house at the cultural festival. Now, everyone else in the group says, yo, let's just put a sheet on us and just call it a day, you know? We can cut some little eye sockets, we're good to go. We'll be done in like a minute. Everyone's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Mob's like, nah, man, come on. People are expecting stuff from us. Let's put in a little bit of work. And they're like, all right, Mob, if you got some ideas, please tell us then. Tell us and we'll run with it. And Mob's like, all right, I do. And then he starts choking right then and there. Which is pretty typical of Mob. As we already get an update to the progress towards Mob's explosion, it's already at 22%. It's been going up pretty quick this season, actually, so that's something to take note. And it's here we transition to the student council, as they're trying to go over what they're going to do for the cultural festival as well. And Mob's brother's going through it right now, as he tells the president, like, yo, president, aren't we doing a bit too much here? The concert venue is definitely going to cause a noise issue at the neighborhood. And a cross-dressing maid cafe? We can't possibly do that. We have to dress wholesome. Someone should really tell Mob's brother that, bruh, we're in an anime. Having a cultural festival without a maid cafe? Blasphemy! Absolute blasphemy. It just can't happen. The president tells him, nah, as long as everyone's safe, then we're fine here. And Mob's brother has to accept that. Now, we'll come back to this scene and see why he's so against it later. But for now, we'll leave it here. And it's here we transition to Reagan in his office, trying to drum up more business through his website. And it's here we get the appearance of the Yokai hunter, Yamakusa. And what an unbelievably awkward entrance this motherfucker makes. You see, he hunts those that writhe in the shadow, and the reason he came to this city is to stop the incident before it can start. Reagan's just like, bro, I didn't understand 90% of what he said. And he's like, yo, I got a client waiting right now. Why don't you go wait outside for ever, and I'll get back to you never. And then even Shirazawa says, yo, I'm probably the last person to say this, but he was unique to say the least. As Reagan literally looks outside and he's getting questioned by the police. Reagan's like, oh, they're taking him to the station, thank God. Whew. But 3 hours later, after this appointment, he pokes his head in and says, are you here, Reagan? It's me, Amakusa Haruaki. I've come back. So Reagan reluctantly brings him in, and he starts discussing the Dark Army. As this guy literally just starts rambling, not even explaining himself, saying, I am the one that hunts the yokai in the darkness. I am the yokai hunter, Amakusa. And at this point, Reagan's had enough. He's like, bro, shut up. It's annoying as hell trying to hear you fit all in those buzzwords. If you don't hurry up and tell me what you want or leave, I'm gonna rip off those sideburns in your hair. Amakusa's like, please, not my sideburns, as he starts explaining a bit about the yokai lore. You see, in this world, there are evil yokai who threaten the peaceful lives of the masses. And Amakusa is a yokai hunter who is dispatched to deal with them. He traveled to Seasoning City because he sensed a presence of yokai here. And can I say, I completely forgot that the city's called Seasoning City, and that Mob School is called Salt Middle School. I completely forgot about that, but that shit's pretty funny. He's currently after the evil yokai horde, the 100 Demons. Not to be confused with the 100 Thieves. as their goal is the resurrection of the great Yokai king. And they're preparing to steal away as much energy as possible to do so. Reagan tells him, yo, why don't you just talk to the police about this? Why are you coming to me? Amakusa says, yo, man, the police are bad news. They're gonna try to use the Firearms and Sword Control Act against me and capture me. AKA, this motherfucker can't be walking around the city with a sword. So Amakusa once again asks Reagan for his help, and Reagan says, you can't be serious. I don't have time for any more of your games, clown. I'm trying to run a legitimate, respectable, non-fraudulent business here. As Amakusa says, oh, will you help me if I pay you a constellation fee? Is 1,000,000 yen enough? Reagan says, please, you really think you can fool me with this writing pad? Huh, you can't fool a fooler. He flips through and he says, wait a minute. Holy shit, it's real! As he switches tune and says, Searzawa, let's go. We're going 100 demon hunting. If the great king is resurrected, this world will fall into darkness. We must vanquish the vortex of madness and break free of the cycle of sadness. And guys, I love Reagan. Reagan's so ridiculous, bro. But man, you can't fool a fooler, man. Reagan's a hustler. Amakusa's just like, oh, I just made a friend. I'm so happy. As Mob shows up to the agency and says, oh, master, I need to talk to you for a minute. As Reagan tells him, sure, man, I'll talk to you for a bit. After we finish this job, you're coming with us. We're slaying Yokai. We're gonna break free from the cycle of sadness. And it's here they start traveling around the city trying to find the lair of the evil Yokai, until eventually they come upon a building that Amakusa swears they're in. And Reagan says, oh, we had to exorcise an evil spirit from this abandoned building before. And now this whole time, Mob is completely enamored and distracted by what he has to do for the cultural festival. He's kind of worried about that a lot, as he's trying to figure things out, not even taking this gig seriously. As we actually get an update to his explosion meter, which is now at 31%. And as they walk in, Amakusa says, curse you, evil Yokai. They're trying to make this their lair. Reagan's like, bro, was this guy not just some cosplayer? He's actually being for real here? There's really Yokai here? And it's here as they progress a little bit further into the building that they do eventually get attacked by a Yokai. As Amakusa does his signature move, Holy Blade, Kasanagi no Dai, Haniya, Kagamitsu! As the blade completely shatters onto the Yokai. As Shirazawa pretty easily beats him with psychic abilities. And it's here that more Yokai show up and they have to start fighting. And Reagan does his signature ability of Salt Splash as Mob and Shirazawa start taking out the Yokai. And you see, the whole time they're fighting, Mob is still completely distracted by the cultural festival. As he's seeing all these things in here and starts thinking to himself, oh, we could use that, we could use this, we could use that, that'd be great. But eventually, we get more serious when we get introduced to the 4 generals of the 100 demons. As it gets revealed that they've already brought the great Yokai king back into this realm. As he says, foolish humans. They are the 4 generals of the 100 demons. They will cast you all into the deepest depths of despair. As we see Mob's explosion level go up to 42% now. It's increasing pretty quick this season. As the fighting starts. And the fight scene in this episode is actually pretty good. Like, when Mob wants to snap on animation, they snap. As Mob and Shirazawa actually pretty easily take out 2 of the generals right away. And can I just say, these 2 are pretty broken, man. I don't really think that there's much of anything that they can't take down at this point. They're kind of at the top of the food chain. As the Yokai King says, not only have you defeated my Yokai army, but you've defeated my 4 generals. Not bad, humans, but don't think for a second that you can defeat the Yokai King! As we literally transition to his dead body on the floor. I freaking love that. That's so funny, man. That's like some One Punch Man shit. As Reagan comments that, this is kind of a freaky design. I wonder if I could sell this. I wonder if I could stuff this and sell it. And it's here that Mob gets a brilliant idea for the cultural festival. And it's here as we transition to Mob's house later that night. He has a newfound determination to make this the best cultural festival ever. As he calls in his other teammates, shows them the design that they have to do, and they get to work on it. And it's here that we transition to the cultural festival, and we see that the costume that Mob made got a lackluster response. But no one complained about it either. As we see Reagan enter the haunted house, and we see the costume that they made, and I think it looks pretty good, honestly. I don't think it looks bad at all. As we see all the guys that created it gathered around saying, I'm glad we did this. And Mob says, yeah, I think it was great too. And guys, there's just something about Mob being happy that makes me happy. Just seeing Mob smile makes me smile. I kind of love it. Now we transition to the scene of why Mob's brother did not want a maid cafe, as we see that he has to be a part of it, and he's cross-dressing as a maid right now. And I can imagine his pride as a man is destroyed right here. And our episode ends as we get this really nicely done ending theme, which I really enjoyed. And we get a little scene after the end of the episode where we see the divine broccoli tree standing tall in the background, but we see roots starting to come out of the ground. And crackpot theory right here, guys. I'm going to say it right now. I think Dimple is going to be the big antagonist of the season. I don't know why, but I think he's going to be, because at the end of the first episode, he went on top of the tree. And he hasn't really been a part of it. But in every episode so far, they've mentioned him in some way, even though he hasn't really been here. I think he's going to play a big part in the ending of this season. I don't know why, I just get that feeling. But what do you guys think of the episode today, We got a little bit of action today, and we got to see Mob happy, man. Like, do we need anything else but to see that boy smile? We got to protect that man's smile, man. Oh, it's great. I love this show. It's so just down to earth at times, even though there's psychic powers, but it's just a fun time to watch. So let me know what you guys thought of it down below. I would love to hear it. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, week, month, and year. Until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and hopefully you don't get attacked by the Yokai King too, because that would be kind of scary. Unless you have Mom, then you just wipe the floor with him. But I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.